Hello and welcome. I'm Ijoma Onyato. Tonight, police disrupt Bring Back Our Girls rally in Abuja as members gather to commemorate 4th anniversary of the abduction of female students from Chibok, Borno State. UNICEF calls for security of schools, especially in the northeast, says more than 1,000 children abducted by insurgents, including Chibok girls. Panel begins investigation into statements by former Defense Minister General T.Y. Danjuma accusing the military of complicity in armed herders attacks. And the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres warns about the dangers of escalation over Syria, says Cold War era is back.
On business news tonight, Finance Minister Kemi Adeosun reshuffles portfolio at the Securities and Exchange Commission, replaces Zubair with Mary Uduk as acting DG.
On sports news, reigning champions Real Madrid face former champions Bayern Munich hurdle in the semi-final of the UEFA Champions League.
And from Abuja, Senator representing Kaduna Central, Shehu Sani, vows to resist attempt to stop him from speaking out amidst police claim linking him with alleged murder.
We begin tonight in Abuja, where members of the Bring Back Our Girls movement today engaged in a face-off with the police when they were prevented from holding their daily sit-out at the UNICEF fountain. The police had resisted the group when they tried to hold today's session to mark 1,500 days of the abduction of the Chibok girls. But the group, which has been holding the session for over 1,400 days at the fountain, insisted that they have the legal backing to hold the sit-out.
Today is actually 1,500 days that Chibok girls were abducted, and it is 1,485 days that we've been coming out every day to make demands for our Chibok girls. And so, unfortunately, we came in here and there are these loads of police, armed police all over the place. And then they tried to stop us and said that we cannot stay here and have our sit-out. And we said we've been coming out here, we have a right. It's enshrined in the Constitution, and we are not breaking any law. So we have a right to come out here. We've taken the police to court before, and we did win that case. And no, they should not come out to intimidate citizens, whereas we have killers all over the country, killing citizens and just abducting citizens and all of that. So we are here, and then we'll continue. We have had this overtime with the police. They come since 2014. We've been harassed, we've been beaten, our chests have been broken. But today, sadly and somehow in a very laughable manner, the police sort of like have stolen our chairs and have taken them away, and we will demand for our properties because we bought them with our money. We are a self-funded group. Everything of ours has been our stake. We have put on our lives on the line for 4 years. We have come out every day. We have put our resources on the line, and we would not allow anybody to intimidate us. We continue to come out. In this country, when one is poor, one is faceless, nameless, and voiceless, and we say that must stop. Chibok parents, because they are poor, we all want to forget them. If the children that were taken away were children of the rich, even the police would have been all over the place looking for them. And that is, we say it's not acceptable, because no Nigerian is more Nigerian than any Nigerian.
Well, it's almost 4 years since the abduction of 276 schoolgirls from Chibok in Borno State by Boko Haram insurgents. And ahead of the anniversary of the abduction, the United Nations Children's Fund is alleging that more than 1,000 children in Nigeria have been seized by the insurgents, including the Chibok girls. The UNICEF representative in Nigeria, Muhammad Fall, says in a statement that children in northeast Nigeria continue to come under attack at an alarming rate. Mr. Fall cites the recent attack on the Government Science and Technical College in Dapchi, Yobe State, as the latest indication that there are few safe places left for children in the northeast. The statement adds, quote, "Children have the right to education and protection, and the classroom must be a place where they are safe from harm. Since the conflict started in northeastern Nigeria nearly 9 years ago, at least 2,295 teachers have been killed and more than 1,400 schools have been destroyed." End of quote. UNICEF also acknowledges the government's efforts to secure schools across the nation, but is appealing for an end to attacks on schools and all violation of children's rights. Army authorities have begun investigating allegations of military complicity in clashes between herdsmen and farmers made by the former Minister of Defense, General Theophilus Danjuma. A panel set up by the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, to investigate the allegations has arrived in Jalingo, the Taraba state capital. The team, headed by General James Nimiel, paid Governor Darius Ishaku a courtesy call at the Government House, Jalingo. General Nimiel told the governor that the military high command is taking the allegation with all seriousness, coming from a revered former Chief of Army Staff.
Your Excellency, sir, the panel before you is a fact-finding team set up to look into the veracity or otherwise of allegations made against the Nigerian Army during the course of operations in Taraba State, with a view to making appropriate recommendations that will assist relevant authorities in making appropriate decisions.
Some of us who were at the convocation square didn't even know that this is what he was about to say. It was a surprise, but a pleasant surprise, because he stirred the minds of everybody living in Taraba. I think we Nigerians will have to decide whether or not we want a country. Because what is happening will certainly not give us a country.
To security matters elsewhere, 12 suspects alleged to have been involved in the recent armed robbery in Kwara State have been arrested by the police. The force public relations officer, Mr. Jimo Moshood, gave the details of their arrest when he addressed a news conference in Abuja. He explained that a high-powered police investigation team, an armored personnel carrier, 3 units of police mobile force, and an anti-robbery equipment were deployed to Kwara State by the Inspector General of Police. Mr. Moshood said their mission was to carry out discreet investigations into the bank robbery in which over 30 people were killed and bring the perpetrators to justice.
We have arrested additional 12 suspects in this regard. And these 12 suspects include one of the sponsors of the robbery attack. So 12 additional suspects were arrested in connection with the bank robbery attack, as I'm relaying to you. And we recovered 2 Beretta pistol, English Beretta pistol, with 20 rounds of live ammunition from these 12 additional suspects. Equally recovered were 4 handsets belonging to some of the victims, some of whom were killed in the attack, and equally their SIM card. Consequent on the Inspector General of Police deployment of high-power investigation team, which include also the armored personnel carrier and 10 crew members. Inclusive were 3 additional police mobile unit force. Each unit contains 63 personnel. Further investigation was stepped up, and it led to the arrest of these 12 suspects that I've earlier mentioned. All the suspects during investigation confessed to the various criminal roles they play in connection to the crime. However, investigation is being intensified to arrest other suspects still at large, and all suspects will be arraigned in court on completion of investigation.
The police anti-bomb squad, looking into a recent explosion that pulled down a building in Ile-Ife, Osun State, says preliminary investigations have shown that non-improvised explosive materials were used. The Commissioner of Police in charge of the anti-bomb squad, Mr. Gabriel Oguntuashe, explains that residue has been gathered from the bomb site. He was speaking in Lagos during the quarterly briefing of all anti-bomb unit commanders across the country.
When the incident of this bombing of an Ilorin, we wanted to know whether it is commercial explosives that were used. As I'm telling you now, I have the report from of her hair, and the samples are here. There's nothing to show that it was high explosive they were used. And even the people in Ilefe, up to yesterday night, we had to send the high-power post-blast investigators. The best hands we have in the department, they are there as we speak now. The latest report they gave to me is that what happened was not a case of IED. The experts will analyze it. By the time they send their swab and all the residuals they collect at the site, there's a body that does that in the office of the NSA. They do proper analysis, they'll be able to know. But from what they have dug, the building collapsed, so they had to dig all around to see if there's a crater, bomb crater, where they can actually pin down that it was IED. Nothing like that was found.
A boundary dispute has set two communities on the outskirts of Benin City, the Edo State capital, against each other. The fight, which has led to the death of a 42-year-old man, is blamed on allegations that one community sent rampaging gunmen to cause mayhem in another.
This is Obaginebusa community located in the Kwabaha local government area of Edo State. This is now a community traumatized by needless violence, which led to the destruction of some houses and the death of a 42-year-old man named Sunday Oduware was cut down in his prime.
On the 6th of April, some gunmen from Amagba, they came here and invaded us, gunning so many people, and one was found dead. That is Sunday Oduware. Died, and the body is lying in Stella Obasanjo's mortuary right now.
The community now lives in fear. Some women have since fled the area.
The
Nogi of the community blames a neighboring community for the crisis that led to the death of the young man.
The people I know is responsible for is Amagba. Amagba people and over the land matter, and as you all know, there is a river called Oroma, which is the natural boundary between me and Amagba.
Amagba community has denied all the allegations.
CDA no more condemn
Edo State Commissioner of Police Johnson Kukumon says some arrests have been made and police investigation is continuing.
We have 3 vehicles, we have 2 suspects. Some of the weapons that were equally used, and we are on the trail of other suspects who are currently at large, who have taken to flight.
The boundary dispute between the two communities is already a subject of litigation. Usazo Baze, Channels Television News.
The President's Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Mr. Femi Adesina, has been responding to criticism of President Muhammadu Buhari over the comments he made about the influx of armed herdsmen into the country. During a meeting with the Archbishop of Canterbury in London on Wednesday, President Buhari had said that the killer herders were trained and armed by the late former president of Libya, Muammar Gaddafi. The statement sparked criticism from some Nigerians, including a senator who questioned the president's competence in handling the security situation in the country. But in a post on his Facebook wall, Mr. Adesina noted that President Buhari was misunderstood in the statement he made based on sensitive security reports available to him. In his words, the tendency now is to twist and slant every word from President Buhari in the negative, all in the bid to demean, demarket and demonize him and make him unattractive to the electorate. End of quote. He adds that those criticizing the president are only interested in problems and not solutions, not looking at issues dispassionately. In part 2, after the break, court gives Senate 7 days to respond to suit challenging its investigation of Senator representing Delta Central, Ovie Omo Agege. Please stay with us.